Hello and welcome to the very first, this pilot episode of Dice Masters Live. With your hosts, Richard, that's me, and
Jimmy, that's me.
That's us, we're the hosts. So this week, the competitors we've got lined up for you are Tim, Big Spender Hibbs.
Tim, Big Spender Hibbs. Obviously, he's the man with the capital. He kind of got into the game first, introduced it to most of us at tabletop, and you know, he's backed it up with buying a whole gravity feed to himself. He's raided eBay. He's got the most cards of anyone that plays weekly here.
They may have the most, but Rich, his competitor this week, he is the collector. He has almost all the cards, and you've got to remember he's been to at least one organised play, Jimmy.
He has. He's got the organised play cards that you can only pick up from those events, and I think there's about 2 in the whole of the UK, so he's as committed as anyone is to the sport.
It'll be interesting to see if those cards make an appearance today, though. So how do we think these two people square up? How do we think they're gonna handle each other's playstyle?
Obviously, they know each other quite well. They played the week before with Rich taking all the glory, so it's kind of like a grudge match. They both know how they play. They had a warm-up match before this evening's headline fight, so I'm not sure whether that means they'll change the way they play or they'll just stick to what they know and play the same way. So coming up, we've got the kind of the reveal of both lineups, and then we've added our own element with the veto.
Yeah, so first up, the competitors have brought 2 action cards each. So we've got Invulnerability and Smash from Tim, and then Smash and Take Cover from Rich. And because of the way that this system's set up, the 2 Smash cards will merge, and there'll only be a pool of 3 different cards to draw from. And here we go into the draw. Tim's Hawkeye, Rich's Storm, Tim's Deadpool, Rich's Nick Fury, and a veto on Tim's Storm, Rich's Hawkeye, Tim's Punisher, Rich's Beast, and then a Mirror Beast from Tim, and a veto on Johnny Storm. Nightcrawler, Black Widow, Green Goblin, Punisher, Hulk, Angel, Human Torch, oh that's got a sting for Rich, and Mr. Fantastic.
So I mean, you can already see with both lineups, there's certain cards in this game people always favour. So Hawkeye, Black Widow, there's reasons that you're seeing them on both teams. So Storm obviously being vetoed, but both of them were trying to field her. There's a few differences in there. So Rich with his Mr. Fantastic that has the global ability of forcing someone to attack. So he's obviously thinking of ways to get rid of Punisher that causes a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Rich looks to have quite a few cheaper cards there in relation to Tim, which is that's what we're used to seeing from Tim, fielding the more expensive characters. So hopefully Rich will be able to get those out, even if Tim manages to get Punisher and starts destroying those characters.
Definitely, yeah, with Punisher, he just removes dice from the field, so you're always a step behind, and then having to refield each time, that's the benefit of picking some cheap characters. You can get them back into play and it not cost the earth.
I think one thing Richard's really going to have to watch out for, though, is that Green Goblin Lord card. The ability to turn psychics into 2/2 will do some serious damage to the majority of the cards that he's got on the table there.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, both haven't really used many of the starter set cards. This is where the kind of big spender rep comes into it. As balanced as the game is, there are definitely some huge cards that you see recommended that you need to be buying in either blind packs or raiding eBay and other black market sources.
Okay, I think the competitors are ready to begin, so let's move on into the main game. So Tim's going first here. He's got the draw. 3 Lightnings and a Psychic. What's he going to go for at this stage? Interesting, so he's gone with the Goblin. So like I said, with that Sidekick fielded, if that Goblin comes out quick, he's going to be able to do some early, quite serious damage to Rich.
Yep, that's his pricey reputation. He'll pick cards that cost more, and that 3, you normally see people buy the 2s, but Tim has his way of playing, and it's Punisher and Green Goblin at 4 and 3, so expect to see more as the game goes on.
And then the roll there, Question, Sidekick, Lightning, and Mask. And despite the fact that Tim's fielded a sidekick, Rich has decided to re-roll those and instead has purchased Black Widow and Nick Fury.
Yeah, he's left himself open, which could be crazy, but his logic is he's buying more expensive dice, so it could pay off, but it leaves you really open for some big damage early on if they get some characters out.
Yeah, and Tim this time, seeing as he's already got that sidekick there to defend, re-rolling the sidekick and getting just a bucket load of energy there. And of course, he's gone for the Punisher.
That was the thumbs up. You could see that's what he wanted, that's what he got. So he's happy with that.
Okay, and then Rich rolling a good amount of energy and just playing the mirror play, just going straight for it, picking up the Punisher.
To be going into round 3 with only one sidekick for either side does seem a little bit crazy, but you can kind of get away with it if your opponent hasn't fielded anything.
Well, I mean, as I said, it's just if that goblin does come up this round, that's going to be some. And there it is. That's that. There's the chance for Tim to do some pretty devastating early damage and another sidekick as well. Rich has to be pretty upset at this roll of the dice.
Yep, this is the downside of going second, that you're kind of a go behind, and we're seeing here quite how much damage that does with what Tim's attacking him with.
Yeah, so Tim's just attacking with one of the sidekicks and the goblin, but he's spent that lightning energy on boosting the attack of that sidekick. So for an early 6 damage, that's the effects of that will be felt throughout the remainder of this game.
Yep, now it's up to Rich to kind of see how he can answer that. There's still one sidekick left for Tim to defend, so he's not left himself too open, and the best Rich can field here would be kind of 2-3 sidekicks on Black Widow, so Tim is obviously pretty secure with that 6 damage, and now we're seeing...
But no, he's decided to go against it. He's just gone straight for Storm, purchasing her. I mean, she has the potential to help him out later in the game, but what with Punisher likely to be coming out this round, and there he is, we could be looking at some serious damage once again.
Yep, obviously Punisher's ability with the card Tim's chosen is when it attacks, it takes away a character, so if you're trying to play against that, you're always 1 extra dice short, or you pay in life, which is 2 lives, so it's risky to not have characters in the field, and Tim's obviously gone for the attack again with a +1, and again this is going to do some serious damage.
12 damage as he's going into his round 4. You can see it on his face, he's feeling it at the moment. I don't know if we're going to see him turn this around, but stranger things have happened in the world of Dice Masters.
Yeah, these two have had previous with Rich scraping victories with just a few health left, but the one downside of not having that health spare to burn is a lot of the cards that Tim has offer those kind of counter attacks of you could pay health to stop that happening, which now there's nothing he can do except try and block everything, which with the way those rolls have just gone, this is now round 5 with him having nothing in defense, which it's fair to say that doesn't happen very often.
No, I mean it's unfortunate. You know, he's just not been rolling characters so far, and the 1 or 2 sidekicks he's had, he's decided to re-roll for the energy, which you can understand. But ouch! Let's just hope that he's going to purchase something and that'll come back through. He's gone for 2 extra dice just to increase the odds of them coming out of the bag, but if he keeps rolling this way, they'll never see the field.
It may well be too little too late with Tim again going first, so he's got his defense already in place, and you know he's got 3 punches every round at the moment, which you don't usually see in Dice Masters.
Okay, and there we go. There's the Punisher coming out of the bag once again. Oh gosh, this could be... Oh no, so he's just rolled energy in a single sidekick. Let's see what he's gonna do now. Re-rolling the Punisher, hoping to get him out, and he's failed. So it's
the first time in this game we've seen a roll not quite go to plan for Tim. Pretty much everything else has come up as he wanted. So,
but those 3 sidekicks mean that he's pretty well defended, and you know he could almost just go for the chip damage at this stage. And of course, he's choosing to purchase another Punisher.
Yep. So now Rich, kind of lagging behind with health, drawing his dice now with Punisher. He needs to get sidekicks, and you know he needs to field as much as he can for as little as he can, and with only 4 dice, you can't really do much.
And a little celebration there as he sees Black Widow come out of the bag. It's Black Widow and Punisher is rolling this time. And he's getting frustrated with the dice now, their inability to roll character sides, but at least he's got the Black Widow for free this time.
Yeah, he's kept the generic energy, so he's obviously looking to purchase something as a global ability, and he had to roll the extra one just either for a psychic or more power. He's fielded them both, so we might see him try and retaliate now.
I think that's the first time, perhaps the first time he's fielded anything this game, but certainly the first time he's fielded 2 characters at once, so perhaps we could see this start to turn around for him.
Here's where the question kicks in of, does he attack, or does he just sit back and keep what he's got? And he decides to sit back and keep what he's got, which is probably the right decision there.
And the Goblin potentially coming out again. Let's see, so he's choosing to re-roll all 3. So the Goblin's not out this round. So this is good news for Rich.
That's a saving grace for Rich. With had that come up, you're looking at every one of those sidekicks being worth double, which is then 8 damage plus Goblin. He would pretty much win with that. So does it now give Rich a chance to come back and steal a victory, or is it just prolonging the agony?
I think at this stage it might just be drawing out that pain. Buying the Johnny Storm there, the Johnny Storm, of course, which was vetoed by Tim for Rich. So that's got a sting every time he sees that dice on the field.
Can he reply with anything, or is he about to roll nothing again?
Well, he's got the Black Widow out of the bag again, so hopefully he can field that. No, not on that roll. He's not been rolling character sides, and that's it's really been messing him up this game. I can't believe he's looking at dice. He needs to re-roll perhaps all 4 of those and hope to get some sidekicks out. And what's he doing? Okay, he's choosing to re-roll all 4. That's good. But no better. What's he going to do with those 5 energy?
Definitely the key element of this game. You see it come up time and time again of, you can plan your hand as much as you like, but the fact there's dice involved, you can never be 100% sure of much happening, because you can just, if the dice don't roll, it doesn't matter what you picked, you're screwed.
And he's purchasing Storm and now attacking with the Punisher, which gets an easy knockout on one of Tim's sidekicks, but of course Punisher with only the 1 health gets knocked out by the blocking sidekick, leaving Rich with just Black Widow fielded. And Tim's rolled the Punisher once again, and strangely has decided not to re-roll 2 of the dice that were knocked out. That's peculiar and against the rules for Dice Masters.
He's almost showboating. He could have had 5 dice rather than the 6. Anything that gets knocked out goes into your kind of prep area, and you are supposed to roll that as extra dice. So interesting technique.
And Rich here deciding to take the two negatives on the life so he can block with the Black Widow. With just 6 health remaining, I can't see this game going on for much longer. But finally he's drawn some characters out of the bag. Will he be able to field them though? That's the question we need to be asking. He's got the potential to field both Beast, all 3 actually, sorry. Beast, Black Widow and Storm.
But yeah, they've got 3 forms, but the odds aren't really with him for rolling all those 3 sides.
That's pretty dire. But he's got Black Widow fielded, and he can afford to field Storm. But, it's a shame. Fielding Storm, of course, means that he gets to re-roll 2 of Tim's sidekicks, and he's rolled them as sidekicks. So
I'm no mathematician, but only one of those sides is a sidekick. So normally you would go for those because it's a free hit. You're going to roll at least an energy. So to pull 2 out and still have them come back as what they were probably isn't your day.
You can see, I think, just that the dice cards aren't with him for this game. That's truly unfortunate. That was perhaps his one chance to really do some damage to Tim, or at least set him back a few rounds, but I can't see it happening now.
in big trouble if Green Goblin comes up, which getting rid of the sidekicks with that buff would have been 4 he's taken away from him, but now 1 Green Goblin leaves a massive attacking line, and yeah, Rich's field is looking a little bit thin.
So what do you think he should do now? Should it attack or just pass for the time being? Of course, Tim's probably going to field that Punisher if he decides to re-roll it this time. And he's gone for the attack.
He's gone for the attack. As crazy as that is, Tim, interestingly, again decided to put 3 blockers up against Storm when he didn't need to, but it has moved into his prep area, so he's obviously thinking with things like Johnny Storm coming out Punisher, he wanted that chance to roll for energy rather than sidekicks, which Rich only has that one in defense. He doesn't really need a massive lineup.
And there we go, that's one sidekick and the Green Goblin fielded, choosing to re-roll what looks to be, yes, the 2 Punishers and Johnny Storm. With all that energy, if he rolls the character faces, they're definitely going to be out, and that could be the end of this game. That could be the end of this game for Rich.
This game ended a few turns ago, to be honest, but
it's been a wounded animal, just desperately trying to go on. I mean, fielding 5 different characters, 4 of which are pretty heavy duty dice, and with the Green Goblin, of course, those sidekicks all become 2/2s. The Punisher, 2 Punishers on the field, meaning Rich is taking 4 damage
before he starts, which is enough to kill him, but we're about to see quite how much of a landslide this was, and
20 to -12. Tim Big Money Hibbs really deserved this win based on the dice rolls. I think unfortunate for Rich that they didn't go quite as well as they could have done.
Money can buy you a deck, but it definitely can't buy you rolls, but it's worked for Tim this time, but everything he rolled seemed to turn to gold, or at least a character.
Okay, thanks very much for watching this pilot episode of Marvel Dice Masters. We'll see you next week. Cheerio.
Bye.